I'm Ryan. I am 26. I'm from London in England. Yeah, I work as a model in South Korea.
Since when?
Nearly 3 years.
Just after COVID.
Just after COVID, yeah, from 2022.
First of all, just give us your social networks.
So all of my social network is the same. Rybrows.pdf. I have Instagram, TikTok, Chinese app, Xiaohongshu.
Oh, why?
I used to live in China.
What kind of content do you post on it?
On Instagram, I post the work that I've done. I'm in a dance cover group, so the stuff that I do with them.
Oh, there is dance cover groups in Korea?
There's quite a few. I used to be in a busking group, but I left because I didn't have the time to commit to it. It just depends. There's like more chill one. So if you can't commit that much time, which is like the one I'm in, or there's like more intense ones where they do make busking as well. And then there's also intense ones, but they just produce more content, live performances. But yeah, there's lots of foreigners in Korea that do.
Mostly foreigners that do that?
I mean, there's Korean dance cover groups as well.
Okay.
I've never tried to audition for one or reach out to them. So
I have to audition?
it depends. Like for the Korean ones, yes. It's a bit more intense, that's why.
I know that in France sometimes they ask for auditions, but I didn't know they were doing the same here.
Yeah. They want to, like, commitment.
On Instagram you post that?
Yeah, I post those kinds of
And
things.
your work, like the collaboration and all of the things you have?
Those kinds of things, yeah.
For the other social networks?
It's all the same. Whatever I post on Instagram, I post on TikTok.
Do you prefer Instagram or TikTok?
I prefer Instagram. I want to try and do more TikTok. I haven't had the time recently. I'm going to try and get more into it.
Yeah, I feel like TikTok is more insertion.
Yeah.
Instagram is more constant, and TikTok, one video can blow up and then the other day everything, like you don't have any visibility on it.
Exactly. That's the kind of thing. So it's a bit like up and down, up and down, up and down. I guess for everything, consistency is key. I just haven't had the time to really focus on TikTok. And so I do mostly Instagram because it's just a bit easier for me.
Can you see any work you're very proud of?
I think one brand that was particularly like big, I guess, was I did Adidas. Every time I went into the store I could see it, and then I took my family when they were here and I showed them in the store, so that was cool. Even though it was big, like I posted it and it didn't get much traction, so it depends their preferences, if they like it or not.
For example, when you're working with one brand like Adidas, which is a world brand, is it like for only Korean advertisement?
It depends, they tell you before you do the job.
And for this one?
This one was just Korea,
Okay.
because it was in collaboration with Korean brand, a brand called Yes I See. It was for that, so it was really nice, and they were really kind. It was the first shooting I ever went to where afterwards they let me keep the clothes. So
really?
yes,
Do they do that often?
No.
No.
So this was really special. It was really nice.
Little souvenir.
Exactly. It felt really nice.
How did you came modeling in Korea?
I studied in China. I studied Chinese, and then all of my classmates were Korean. And like I knew what things like K-pop and stuff were before I went to China. I used to listen to a little bit, but not like too much. So after my year abroad in China, I did a 2-week holiday in Korea before I went back to England. While I was there, I had a really nice time. So I was like, oh. And then in university, I had credits to do some other language. So I did Korean. And then I graduated and I got my job, which was working in a kindergarten. I really like kids, so I was teaching babies, general things, reading, writing, this kind of thing, and I really liked it. I was just looking for any job. During my winter vacation, I came to Korea because it kind of COVID was still going on, but you could travel a bit. And while I was here, I was like, maybe I will teach English. And then I decided, oh, I'll teach in Korean. And then my friend was like, oh, maybe you should try modeling here. And I was like, okay. So I went to some agencies and I got different offers from different agencies, but in the end I went with like the one that I signed finally with. I went back to England and I kept teaching at the kindergarten. And then when the year was over, then I moved to here to do modeling.
What kind of offer?
It just depends. The different agencies have different rates and percentages that they will help you. Some agencies work more in like fashion, the taller or slimmer, like certain build, their rate will be different to an agency that works with commercials. Agency maybe different kind of people, and so then their rate is different. Then there will also be more agencies that have certain image. Like if it's a fashion, I was figuring out like which kind of agency is best for me, and so I went with more commercial agency.
Would you like to change in the future?
I'm happy doing what I'm doing now, and I don't know how much longer I will do it for, so I will just stay where I'm comfortable.
How do they manage everything about visas? Because most of people, when they come to Korea, they do either a study visa, travel and work visa. The travel and work is only for 1 year.
When you do modeling, there's 2 types of modeling visa. There's C4 visa, which means that you have an agency in your home country. They send you over to Korea. C6 visa, which is the visa that I have, which is an entertainment visa in Korea. And the company that you sign with can help you to process this visa. But you show them your portfolio, kind of skills that you can do. You have to go with like tax forms and your evidence of how much you work. You have to earn a certain amount, otherwise then you can't sustain your life here. And then they present that to the government, and if the government deems it qualified enough, then they grant the visa. Every year you do that, so you can keep renewing it. There's no like limitation to how long you're on the E6.
Okay, and they can like
Say no. Yeah.
Okay, so every year you're like, how maybe the
Yeah.
it must be like very stressful.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm not going to do this for much longer.
Just marry a Korean.
Yeah, exactly. Some people do that, but for me, I think it's just Korea is really fun. After one more year, I think I will be done. I need to do something else.
I heard that with the executive visa, it's like the same for everything about like dancing, modeling, acting.
Mm-hmm.
So when you have it, you can do like.
You can do those things, yeah.
And music too, right?
Yes. Yeah, you can do all
So
of
you
those.
have like on one visa for everything.
Yeah, for entertainment, because these are considered entertainment.
And that's why a lot of model in Korea do also
Acting and dancing and music, yeah.
What do you do when they call you for modeling?
So we have castings and then schedules. So like the casting, maybe you go and you film a video for a brand, or you take pictures for the brand in their clothes, and then they kind of decide whether or not they want you to model. And then if yes, then you get the schedule, and then you just go on the day and you do the filming or the photo shoot. If it doesn't work out, then you just wait until the next casting. It's kind of a lot of waiting and trial.
Is it enough to afford living costs for you?
For me, yeah, I do quite well.
Okay.
For especially I haven't been here, I guess, that long, and I made a lot of money and connections in a very short space of time. But it's not the same for everyone, and it's not because they don't try, but it's because it's not an easy industry.
So
Yeah.
you have to fit in the criteria.
Yeah, exactly. So I think there's a misconception in Korea that becoming a model is very easy, and that there's lots of jobs, and because one person that you've seen is working a lot, but it's not the same story for everyone. Not everyone looks like me. I don't look like everyone else. So maybe one brand just likes having a particular model, and I know that that's not me. So I know that it won't be me. It will be several people that I know that will all have one go at doing this, but then it won't ever be me, and that's okay. But I will have another job that maybe someone else doesn't, and it kind of works like that for everyone. Yeah, it depends. Like some people don't work that much, some people do. When you feel like it's your time to finish doing it.
And in this kind of thing, do Korean people and foreigners get mixed? Are you hanging out only with foreigners?
I hang out mostly with foreigners. I have Korean friends that I do hang out with. That's a given because I live here, but it just depends on the job. Whether they want Korean models and foreigners, just Koreans, just foreigners.
There is like kind of cliche
Yeah.
about like modeling that people are very competitive and sometimes mean to each other.
Yes.
Is that true?
It depends on what the vision of the brand is. It's all dependent on the people.
Okay.
Like with everything, there are mean people in any job you do. There are people that are competitive. Again, that is in any job you do. It just comes down to why they're being competitive. You can't tell anyone's thoughts. As long as you do your best to be a kind person, people will see that other people are being mean, if they're being mean or if they're being competitive, even when they're trying to be more sly about it. If there's also intention, like maybe they're trying to steal your job, or maybe they're trying to do this or do that, it's very obvious. So there's always those kinds of people.
But is it like more than in regular life, or is it like just?
I think it depends. Again, it depends. It depends on the job, on the person, everyone. One model is the same, so you can't even generalize a group. You can't even be like, oh, these models from this agency are really competitive. Not everyone is the same, and people also move agencies. So.
Oh, do people move on an agency a lot?
Not a lot, but some people do. So they could start in one agency, and maybe their experience there wasn't very nice, so they had to protect themselves and be more ruthless, and then they moved somewhere else where everyone's more welcoming, and then you see, they weren't mean, they were just trying to protect from other people being horrible to them.
you don't do everything about like runway or something.
It depends.
Commercial things.
I do commercials. I do fashion stuff as well, but I've never done runway. I do mostly lookbooks.
And you like, or you prefer like just to stay on photos?
For me, I like doing everything. So
Okay.
for me, I any job I enjoy.
So if like one time you have like the opportunity to do one,
Yeah, I would
So-
definitely do.
maybe after 1 year you will go back to studies.
Yeah,
Will you stay doing that, or just quit everything and
probably just quit and then study. Focus on studying.
why?
It's a very unstable job to do, even though I make good money and I live well. I'm moving house soon, so I'm very blessed that I've saved money enough to move house and I can afford a better house. It's not the same for everyone. Payments take quite a long time to come in. You've got the brand liaison with the company and then the company talking to your company. So there can be a delay in payment. So the minimum you can wait usually is 3 months. If I worked 3 months ago, I will get that money this month.
Okay.
And that's a regular thing. So lots of people don't realize that. There's also different jobs. Not every job pays the same. Maybe you do one really good job 1 month, and then the next month you don't do that many jobs. Like this month I haven't worked that much. I didn't earn as much money this month, but I will still have to wait 3 months for that money. So you have to be very careful with your money. This kind of thing is not for everyone. And I don't like the instability. It's not for me, so I want to stop it.
You will maybe work like with children.
I think so, probably.
Okay.
Or I will just see how I feel about my career. If I find something I really enjoy and I find a passion, then I will do that. Like at the moment, this is a passion of mine. I enjoy it, so I'm doing it. When the passion is dead, I have to move on.
Yeah, that makes sense. Are you like missing UK?
I miss the UK sometimes. I miss different aspects of it. I miss my parents.
Yeah,
I
sure.
miss my family, but nothing about the convenience of the UK. It's much more convenient here. My life and the people, but I know that that's waiting for me if I were to go home. Because I still keep in contact with obviously my family and my friends back home. Just because I live here doesn't mean I cut everything off. This is my life as it is at the moment, and one day I will go back to that.
It's like pause.
Exactly.
So you can go back to UK usually or not?
I usually go back once a year at Christmas, so I will go back in 2 weeks. No, not 2 weeks, 1 week. Oh my god. This year I went back again in the summer because it was my dad's birthday.
Oh, okay.
Like his 60th birthday, so he wanted me to come home. So I did go home twice, which I didn't expect to, but I still enjoyed it, so it was nice.
That's better than nothing, I
Exactly,
think.
yeah.
Do your family come to Korea sometimes?
Every year someone from my family has come, so like my auntie has come twice now, my mum has come once.
And what is their thought about Korea?
They like it, and my mum actually really liked it as well.
Oh, and also what was the thought when you said, yeah, I want to move to Korea and
Um, they didn't mind about
they
it.
didn't worry about instability.
But I mean, I'm young, so it doesn't matter, like you make these kinds of mistakes if it is a mistake. And also, I know myself well enough to know that when I need to stop doing something, stop it. So when something's not working out, I need to stop. And I had a limit to myself that if I need to work this much and try and get these jobs to be able to sustain my own life, otherwise I need to leave. I now sustain my own life. I don't rely on anyone else apart from myself. And so that is comfortable enough for me and my family to know that I can stay here. And I managed to do that within my first year. If I didn't do that, I would have just gone home.
Was there like any time when you nearly went home?
One time last year, the work was just not very good and it was very inconsistent. It was only for a month, but it was too much mentally for me that I was like, I think maybe now is time to stop. But then it really picked up again and it all got a lot better. So I was like, oh, okay, I can stay a bit longer, but in the grand scheme of things, you need to know when to quit. So I was like, right, I'll give it until this point. If it doesn't get better, and then it slowly started getting better.
Is that at this moment that you was like, oh no, insecurity is not for me?
That was the first drop in my mind that I was like, I don't like this, but we'll keep trying. And then I got myself more stable, but then on occasion it dips. And again, it's nothing as linear like this or like this. It's kind of like up and down, up and down, up and down, up and down. And for me, that's too much. At the place I am in my life, I want to be able to do more for myself and my family.
After that, would you like that to work in fashion or?
I think so,
Yeah.
but maybe in a different role,
Yeah.
like marketing or styling, this kind of thing. That kind of thing is more my speed now.
Do you have any goals about that or?
Not at this moment. First, I want to study. So I want to see what piques my interest enough during my study to be able to say, I want to do that.
Okay.
Once I've gotten that point in my head, then I can move forward.
Not even like a brand that like you want to work for.
No, because I used to work in luxury retail for 3 years during my university time. I've worked with some of the biggest brands. I know what the experience is like. I already know how I feel about working in that kind of industry, so I want to work something else.
Oh, you don't want to work like for big brands?
Not necessarily. Maybe like for people or individuals.
Oh, like dependent.
Yeah, this kind of thing. In that sense, maybe. Or maybe work under someone first and kind of see what the kind of industry is about and then move on to what other things I can do.
What's the convenience? Like just generally working in fashion.
I was very young at the time, and they put a lot of responsibility on people when you're not young. So I didn't get as much exposure to things as I would have liked to determine whether or not I would be good enough at something, because they didn't trust me because I was too young.
How old was you at this time?
19.
Okay.
19 until I was 22. So it was a long time, but I was also very young. So I understand why they didn't trust me to do a lot of things, but I know that at my age and the mental space I was at, I could have done them. It was the prejudice that they had.
What was like good points?
I really enjoyed the people I worked with, I really enjoyed the companies, I really enjoyed the people that I met through the job. It was all lovely. It was just I had to leave it because I have to move on. When I don't like something anymore, I have to move on from it. It's a thing that, like I learned in a Chinese proverb, is that you do anything until you exhaust the joy from it, and then you leave
and then
it.
you quit.
Yeah, and then it's better for you because you have all the enjoyment and you enjoy the time. Because when you keep doing something, even after you don't enjoy it, then you're only going to resent it.
But you say you don't like instability, but you can be sure you can enjoy something until the rest of your life.
I am stable in my enjoyment until I don't enjoy it anymore. And then I have to stop it. Because then
And then you have to find another thing.
Yeah, but I already have inkling of things that I like before I stop the other things. So like, you know, I always enjoy teaching children because I've done it for so long and I know that I like it. But something new came up and I wanted to try it, and now I'm trying it, and when I've exhausted it, I'll go back to something I know that I like, and then when I don't like it, move on. And it's okay, and then that way you just enjoy more things in life. Because if also I don't have the personality to do too many things at one time, otherwise I can't do it very well. I have to just focus. That's why, like, if I'm studying, I need to study.
You see any difference between regular work and this type of thing?
Obviously, sometimes I still work with children in modelling, so.
Oh, you teach them?
No, like I will do a shooting where someone is my daughter or my little sister or my little brother, this kind of thing. So it's cute. Difference is people are very different. Like obviously you're not just working with one of your teams. So like if I was teaching, it would just be me and the other teachers. In this kind of industry, if I'm shooting and I'm doing a shoot not by myself, it's me and the other models. And then it's me, the other models, and then the managers. Me, the other models, the managers, the production team. Me, the other models, the manager, the production team, and the security. Like everyone that's working all together. There's loads of people all the time. You're never on your own. You never have the time to just be in your own space.
There is a lot of young people that DM me on Instagram and they are like, oh, can you tell me how to audition for K-pop or audition for modeling and everything? Would you recommend it for someone that is very young?
I would not.
Why?
No, because you're not ready to commit to something like this, especially in a foreign country. If you tried something like this in your home country and you really want to do it, you feel like you can do it, then you should try it here. Even I took a big risk doing it myself, and that is why I would say, you know, if you're going to try and do it.
I know that the people younger than 22.
Yeah,
they're not in major.
No, I got that. If you're gonna try and do it, then that's fair. Like no one can stop you, but you have to be ready in the decisions you make. You have to be responsible for.
16, 17 is like too young for that.
I think it's too young. I think 18 minimum. When you finish your education, at least your foundation education. If you don't want to go to university, that's entirely up to the individual. At least a basis education you need to finish in your home country and have certain basic skills like English speaking. Because if you came over here and you can't speak Korean, most people are going to try and speak to you in English. If you can't speak English, then it's going to be very hard for you. If you can't speak English or Korean, have you got enough money? Are you going to be trying to rely on your parents? Because if your parents can afford to help you, then that's great, but that's not everyone's story. So you have to be careful. Things like, do you know how to look after yourself? Can you cook? Can you clean?
Yeah.
Can you keep yourself maintained physically? Like, if you can't cook, can you learn to cook something basic that you know you can eat? Are you aware of what things are good and not good for your body? Because will it make you sick? Do you know what to do if you're sick? These kinds of things. Are you able to clean your space properly? Because if you can't and you're living in a bad environment, it could be very dangerous for you.
Yeah.
This kind of thing.
But the thing is, in those kind of industry, it feels like if you're too old, like have less chance.
That is true to some extent, and it's also not true to some extent. There are less opportunities the older you get, depending on what kind of thing you're trying to do. Like if you're trying to be a K-pop star, maybe it is better to start young, but you also have to consider if it doesn't work out, do you have another path to go down? And then you also have to consider things like even if you're modeling, is it because of your age or is it maybe because of your look? Is your look too similar to someone else's? You can't thrive in this industry. Like you can do well, but you can't do really well.
Okay, you should have like a non-typical face.
Not necessarily non-typical, because there are lots of companies that want more typical faces. But if you're wondering maybe why you're not working and someone else looks very similar to you, maybe it's because the two of you are going to have to share the opportunities. And if it's more, you might have to consider, is this the country for me to be doing this in? Am I always going to be constantly competing with this person? Is that good for me? Do I want to do that to myself mentally? This kind of thing. You have to be very self-aware.
And do you think you would have this much opportunities if you tried doing modeling but in London?
I don't think so, because I think the brands are very different and what they're looking for at the moment is very different. And my look at the moment is not on trend in the UK. If I tried in the UK, maybe I could do some smaller modeling, but I don't think to the scale that I do now.
It feels like you are in the trend now in UK.
In the trend, maybe, but there's also many other people that look like me in the UK.
Yeah, that's true.
But there's not that many people that look like me here. It's like the opposite for some people. If you were to go to another country, maybe there's more opportunities because you look like so many people. Like every country is different, and so.
Like for example, like an Asian looking people go to Europe and try modeling, will get more chance.
There'd probably be more chance for them.
Yeah, because it's trendy.
Yeah, and also there's not as many selection pool in, for example, the UK, France, Italy, those places. Maybe they want more Asians to go over there because they don't have the selection that they need.
But I think they take a lot of K-pop stars for like French modeling. And
this kind of thing.
Because
So
it's trendy.
Exactly.
Do you think if you would try it in China or Japan, it will be like the same?
I'm not sure. I think I'm still not on trend in the Chinese market. I think in the Japanese market will probably be better for me. Is my opinion. I would have to try to see. Maybe one day I will try. I don't know.
I don't have any more questions. If you have like anything you want to say.
The only thing is like, for example, in the UK, I trained in dance for many years. So I did ballet and contemporary dance. So I also do some dance jobs here on occasion. Like not just the K-pop ones, but I also do like dancing in commercials and those kinds of things. I think if you have a skill set, it also helps when you come over here. Because maybe even if you're thinking your look is not that unique or strong or this kind of thing, maybe a skill that you have is something that they're looking for. Like, do you play piano? Because maybe not everyone plays piano to your level, this kind of thing. There's nothing to stop people from trying what they want to do, and I think everyone should try and go for their dream once. But I think also just be very self-aware and very careful, because it's something that can really change a person, and you don't want to be changed. You want to try and maintain yourself as much as possible, because being yourself is what is going to keep you the person that everyone wants to hire.
This is the end of the video. So thank you for Ryan. Come take some of your time.
Thank you for having me. Honestly, thank you for having me. I really enjoyed it.
That was very cool, and like I learned so much. I hope you guys learned a lot too. I will try to shoot like a small video, so I think I will post it after this one. Go check it. Thank you. See you
Thank
next
you.
week.
Bye bye.